I'm caught in a trap. I can't walk. Hey guys. Ooh, sorry about that. I was just getting my jam on, and you interrupted me during Sheyna Gee week here on the Boston Chris podcast. That's right. My guest this week is a young lady from Rancho Cucamonga, California. Boy, I'll tell you what, I had to practice saying that, but I finally got it right. It's Rancho Cucamonga, California. And Sheyna Gee is her name. I just love this girl's vibe. We talk about vibe a lot during this episode, and you'll see why, as we will be including 2 live acoustic songs from Sheyna as well during this episode. But I have some homework for y'all out there, if you don't mind. Please hit that like button wherever you're watching, listening, viewing, tuning in, whatever you're doing. Hit the like button. If you want to see more in-depth, candid conversations like this one with Sheyna, we do 2 episodes a week on this show. And you guys can subscribe or follow wherever you are for completely no money whatsoever, and you'll be notified. If you hit the little bell, ding, ding, you'll be notified when we have new content coming out every Friday and Saturday, new episodes. And of course, I want you guys to comment down below wherever you are watching or tuning in from. I want to know where our audience is viewing from. So do that for me. But yeah, guys, we get into it with Sheyna Gee very in depth today about her music, where she came from, how she got to be where she is, and all kinds of really cool stuff. A lot of insight in her writing, her vocals, how being in a cover band helps with her originality, and all kinds of other really cool stuff here on the Boston Chris Show. With the one and only Sheyna Gee. Without any further ado, guys, let's get into it with Miss Sheyna Gee right here on the Boston Chris Show.
It's time to jam. It's time to mingle. It's time to see what everyone's drinking. It's time to jam. It's time to mingle. It's time to see what everyone's drinking. Until we all lose connection.
Hey y'all, this is Chris Edwards. Thanks for tuning in to the Boston Chris podcast.
Hey guys, we have a treat this week. It's Sheyna Gee here on the Boston Chris podcast, and I got to tell you, you are a product of my algorithm, and I'm so freaking happy for my algorithm helping me find you. I am so in love with your vibe, honestly.
Thank you. And I'm so thankful for the algorithm.
Yeah, me too. Because, man, I love. There's so much to unpack with you, and this is going to be a really fun episode because I think you are very unique, and I think a lot of people can learn from you. But I'm going to break the ice first. What are your favorite drinks right now, Sheyna?
I don't really change favorite drinks. My favorite drinks usually consist of alcohol of any kind.
Okay, so you're living that honky tonk life then, huh?
I do. Most people would not expect this, but if I'm going light, I drink like quote unquote champagne. So like sparkling wine, cava,
Sure.
whatever. Or whiskey shots or tequila shots.
Nice. Okay, very cool. The first song I'd like to use is called Anymore. Can you tell us a little bit about this one?
Yeah, absolutely. I had lived in Nashville for like 5 years when I wrote that song. And I just wasn't really writing a ton before that. I was doing the honky tonk thing, saying I was an artist, but I had only released a couple songs and whatever. And my boyfriend actually encouraged me to just start writing more. And so I started reaching out to my friends, and one of my best friends, Brianne Young, and I had been friends for a while, and we never written together. And it was our first write together. We sat down, we bullshitted for an hour, and then started writing, and that song came out in like 20 minutes.
Wow. Yeah, you bullshitted for longer than it took to write the song.
That's usually how songwriting
Absolutely it
sessions
is.
with me go.
That's how it works for everybody. It's not just you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to kind of clear the air first, I think, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm a bit of a talker.
Mhm.
And so the talking kind of, but we ended up being in the exact same position where we had been dating for the year before and kind of just had a bunch of those people that were kind of lingering.
Yeah.
And so it was so easy to write just because we were in the exact same situation.
Very cool. I'm excited to show Sheyna Gee here on the show. You guys are going to love this girl. The song is called Anymore. Y'all check it out. Here it is.
How's it no go? I take up so much space. Well, you're gone and time don't keep the same. I could pay the rent on this empty house. I should have pawned it and I would have had the money by now. Why am I still holding on to something I don't even want? We keep our little memories in a drawer till the lonely leaves them scattered across the floor. Or in a story or in a song, some are good, some good and gone. Some feel just like they did before, till we don't need them anymore. Anymore. Your name's on a number in my phone, and I'd pick it up if I was alone. But you ain't even trying to call, and I'm still sleeping with a ringer on. You ain't ever coming back. I should just erase it, but I can't. We keep our little memories in a drawer till the lonely leaves them scattered across the floor. Or in a story or in a song, some are good, some good and gone. Some feel just like they did before, till we don't need them anymore. We don't need them anymore. Sometimes a box beneath my bed gets inside my head, and I'm holding on to prove it happened, because I'm bad at letting go. Well, it don't matter either way, because that's where it's gonna stay. I'll either toss it or keep it. Truth is, I don't really know. Why keep our little memories in a drawer till the lonely leaves them scattered across the floor. Or in a story or in a song, some are good, some good and gone. Some feel just like they did before. How's it feel just like it did before, till we don't need them anymore? Till we don't need them anymore. Anymore.
All right, so we're back with Sheyna Gee. Man, I just want to thank you so much for spending some time with me today. And this is a very biographical show, so we're going to start with, I want to make sure I have this right. You grew up in Southern California, is that right?
I sure did. I grew up about 30 minutes outside of LA, in the mountains, in the San Bernardino Mountains. I'm in a city called Rancho Cucamonga.
Okay.
And spent my teen years kind of playing down on the Venice Beach boardwalk. And then like the Hollywood scene when I got into my early 20s and stuff like that. So just played all over Southern California.
I'm so excited about that because the prototypical country artist does not come from Southern California, right? And I feel like there's a lot of that vibe in your music, and I want to hear from you where that came from. But before we get into that, I'd love to hear about kind of how music is finding you as a kid.
I honestly didn't listen to country music growing up. Of course, like in the 90s when I was growing up, there was like Shania Twain and
Yeah.
the Dixie Chicks stuff, and I listened to that. Not by choice, but because one of my aunts liked country music. And I am more of like a rock girl, grew up on like Zeppelin. My favorite band growing up was Nirvana, like so cliche 90s, but it was so
Not
true.
at all, man. Heck yeah.
Yeah, and then like the Southern California punk scene, Social Distortion, Bad Religion, No
Nice.
Effect, like Strung Out, a bunch of those bands were really what I loved. And I was in rock bands all through high school, and after high school when my bands broke up, like everyone just went their own ways, you know, nothing bad ever happened. It was just, you know, you grow up. And I'm the only one that still wanted to play music. And so I started hosting local open mic nights and playing acoustic on Taco Tuesdays and stuff like that. And people just kept being like, oh my God, you're country. And I've always worn cowboy boots because I rode horses.
Mhm.
And so people just are like, cowboy boots, you're country. Like,
Yeah.
you know, and I was just like, I'm not country, I'm rock.
Yeah.
And finally, it was just like, okay, I guess I'm my own flavor of country.
You damn sure are. You damn sure are. Man, I couldn't put it any better than that. I've been reading about you, researching about you. Your story is so interesting to me. You started guitar at 5. You started in a band at 6. I'm trying to figure out what it looks like for a 6-year-old to be in a band. So tell me what that's like.
So I grew up I had a really cool local music shop that I grew up at. It was called Alpha Music, and they would do a thing called Rock Project every summer. And so they put people kind of like with your age group, but like there's not a lot of like little kids.
Yeah.
But so like my first experience was with the band was with the few people that were under 10 in the band in the Rock Project, and then I would say at like 9 I got into my first like real band that was like but I did Rock Project every summer.
Even still 9. That's insane.
Yeah, it was cool. I was in a band called Spoiled, and we put out an EP. It was an all-girl band, and all 3 of us played everything, so we could like switch instruments and whatever. And we wrote these 4 songs and made an EP called Who Wants Cake. That's probably still out there somewhere.
Oh my gosh.
And that was like my first band. We were together for like 2 years before one of the girls' dad moved to San Diego, which was like 2.5 hours away. So that just kind of ended up breaking up the band. And then my next band was Generation Next when I was 11, and we played at Mountain High Ski Resort for like 2 ski seasons for free season passes.
Wow. Insane. What a cool backstory, man. Let me ask you this, because I did read a little bit about you that you did go through a divorce with your parents when you were younger. How much of the music was kind of an escape from that situation for you as a youngster?
100%. My mom, when my parents got divorced when I was 5, and my mom was like, "You guys aren't just going to be those kids that lurk in the sadness, so you have to get hobbies." And so my hobby she ended up finding a guitar player or a guitar teacher crazy enough to teach me guitar. I found out later that he was probably crazy enough because he had this long pinky nail that he said he used for playing guitar. I don't think that's what he used it for.
The things you learn later, right?
Yes.
So coming up in the scene in the Southern California music scene, what's that like in that area? Is there a lot of opportunity for a young artist?
It was amazing. Obviously nothing worked out there, but but had a lot of really cool opportunities. I opened for Stevie Wonder when I was like 17. I got to play for presidents. I got to just do a lot of cool, play for radio stations, and Ed McMahon saw me play at a radio station, like just cool random stuff that, you know, when you live in that vicinity to LA, you just have cool opportunities. I had signed a development deal when I was a teenager. Ended up as soon as I turned 18, they were like, "Oh, you're fat and just a normal girl, so we're not gonna assign you." And that kind of, you know, that stuff happens in Hollywood too, especially in the early 2000s when they were calling Jessica Simpson fat.
Yeah. Oh man, I mean, if one thing has gotten better somewhat in the world, it's that, right? Like, I feel like age and appearance and things like that aren't really overshadowing talent quite as much as it used to, right?
I'm so happy for that, and I tell everyone in the younger generation, take advantage of that, because that was not a thing.
Yeah, I think that's the social media part of it, right? Like, because I mean, as an artist, you don't necessarily need somebody behind you to get seen. You just need a viral moment or something on TikTok or wherever. And I mean, you're going to get that traffic anyway, regardless of what you look like or how old you are. Look, you go on TikTok and there's freaking viral, like, sensations that are in their 90s, you know?
I love it so much.
Me too.
And like, for me, I am definitely expired to the music industry, and
Which
every
is
meeting that I
ridiculous,
have,
yeah.
they're like, yeah, like, doesn't your age concern you? I'm like, no, because I don't have gatekeepers telling me it. But I go straight to my audience, and my audience is not people that want to hear a 19-year-old teeny bopper telling them about life, because those people haven't experienced life.
Yeah.
You know,
Just go look at the content. Look at the content, and you tell me you don't gravitate to the content regardless of what the person looks like or how old they are. Like,
yes, like, I've actually lived a life.
Yes.
I've lived 10 lives at this point.
Yeah.
And so when I say something, it's because it's happened to me, not because I'm making up some story. And I
Yeah.
think that is what has completely changed in the music industry. Is it's not just you get two 80-year-old dudes writing a song for a 19-year-old girl and it doesn't feel authentic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's hard for that 19-year-old girl to connect to that song, just because the machine wants her to connect to that song. It doesn't work that way. To be completely honest with people, it didn't work that way when it was working that way.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
you know what I mean? But yeah, and look, I talk to a lot of those 80-year-old dudes too. So believe me, I've had both sides on this show. So yeah, I mean, one of the things that I love is, like, you're making a name for yourself in LA. You're doing well out there. You're winning awards, right? You're opening for the Stevie Wonders and all of that. But you do make the decision at some point, this rocker girl, might I add, to go to Nashville. So what's behind the reason for that?
I was already coming out to Nashville like 3 or 4 times a year, and at that time, there wasn't the money in music that there is now, and I just didn't have the money to keep. It was more expensive to visit Nashville than to live in Nashville, and I had family back home, so I could always go home and stay as long as I needed to, and then come out here. When I moved to Nashville, when I was like visiting Nashville, it'd be like between $500 and $1,000, and for a 25-year-old that's just playing music for a living, that is way too much to come out here, because I was writing with people out here and like just trying to play the whiskey jams and do the things that you needed to do back in 2015, 2016. And then in 2016 I was finally like, okay, I'm going to move here. When I moved here, my rent was $400 a month.
Wow.
And you will never find that now.
Yeah.
But it was so much cheaper to live here and do the Nashville thing. And I really wanted to like hone in on writing. Now, like I kind of lightly mentioned earlier, I ended up mostly partying and drinking and playing in a cover band for the first 5 years. But, you know, you got to learn those lessons.
Sure, yeah, you have to grow, too, and you're growing while that's happening, too, I imagine.
Yes.
I mean, L.A. is a big mecca for music, too, so was there any kind of tug-of-war in between your creativeness, between L.A. and Nashville? Because you said, you know, even though you wore boots, you really weren't country. You were a rocker chick. I would imagine L.A. would be better for that rocker chick, right?
It was just, there was no country scene out there when I was there. I was like the big fish in the country scene and playing for every band opening up out there and whatever. And I kind of felt like I'd reached the pinnacle. Now, right around that time, country started getting cool. Yeah. And I don't know what would have happened if I would have stayed, and I'll never know. So it's kind of like hindsight is 2020. I don't know if staying would have been a better idea, but at the time it made more sense for me to live here because for like mainly financial reasons. I could work on Broadway and pay almost nothing for rent and still be chasing my, you know, whatever. But in LA, I will say I was working harder on my original project. Yeah. But I had just gotten out of a really bad deal and I was trying to leave my boyfriend at the time. And the only way that I felt like I could escape all of that was just to leave.
Yeah. So it sounds to me like you had all these influences that weren't country growing up. And at some point in time, country music is kind of winning that tug of war. So how and when did that happen?
When I was like 19, 20, I had kind of given in to the fact that I was country. And a friend introduced me to a band called the Knitters, which is they are like very much one of the bands that coined the alternative, them and Nico Case. And I found those two bands kind of around the same time. And I was like, oh, I love this. And the Knitters is a really obscure band because they were actually the band X, like the 80s punk band, had like a side project. And it was this band, the Knitters.
Oh, really?
And
Nice.
yes, and they were like a traditional country, like almost cosplay like band.
Okay.
And they did covers of like George Jones songs, and like they had a couple original country songs, but it was really a lot of classic covers. And it introduced me to country music that I didn't really know. Because when I was growing up, like I said, when I was really young, like a kid, like elementary school, it was the Shanias and the Tim McGraws and whatever. And to me, that was just like, that's whatever. But I had never listened to Dolly Parton. I had never listened to Waylon Jennings. I had never listened to Johnny Cash. Now I knew who all these people were because we all know who they are.
Right.
But I had never listened to them. And so I went and listened to that music and I was like, oh, I do like this. But when I was like a teenager and able to like find my own country music, it was Jason Aldean, it was Luke Bryan, it was Florida Georgia Line, and I was just like, that's not me for sure.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what is me, but that's not me. And then when I was 19, I heard Eric Church for the first time, and for modern country, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
this is different. This is like, and he was real, and he was, you know, the Outsiders, and he was, you know, and while like it is still pop country, like it didn't feel like pop country.
Yeah.
And like Smoke a Little Smoke was exactly what I was like, okay, now I'm 100% sold after like doing a little homework for a couple years on classic country and where all these people, you know, came from. And then like Dwight Yoakam is California and Merle Haggard is California. And so I leaned really hard into the California country thing for a few years before finally deciding to move to Nashville.
So I listen to a lot of music. Okay, I got to tell you that just to preface this next compliment that I'm going to give you. I listen to a lot of music. There is nobody like you, in my opinion. There's literally nobody like you. And I'm going to try to explain. I feel like with you, I talked about vibe a lot earlier in the show. And that's the best way I can put it. Your vibe is kind of like this throwback, right? Like you're this throwback to a different era of not just country, but rock and roll as well. You have these elements in your music that's a throwback. And I'll give you an example, like the steel guitar that you have in a lot of your songs is a throwback to a different era of country music. But you feel like it's almost like an updated version of that. It's like you're bringing that into the 21st century. And there's a lot of people trying to do that. You are doing it. I'm saying that you are actually doing it successfully. And there's a lot of people not and failing. Just to give you an example, like the song Blue, which I absolutely love. It honestly reminds me if Patsy Cline was alive today, that would be her singing, like how she would be. That would be her with maybe a little bit more edge to her voice, right? But
you just made my day, man.
yeah, I'm just being like, that's why I love my algorithm that I found you, because there's so many different songs and the instrumentation that you choose. I don't know if it's you or your producer. We'll get into that in a little while, but just the way that you like modernize everything that used to be old. Is that part of your strategy?
I don't think it was on purpose.
Okay.
So my first country EP that I put out, The View from a Bar Stool, I had moved to town. I immediately started dating an engineer, and he was working at Blackbird at the time.
Okay.
And he was working under a producer, Dave Kalmusky, who he was like, you can't afford me as a producer. He's like, but I'll help you put a band together and I'll be there on the day that you record. And I was like, all right, that sounds like a producer to me, but I'll let you say however you want to. And the players that you hear on The View from a Barstool are the players who played on Dolly Parton records. They played on early Garth Brooks records and like every country record in town. And these guys are the 80-year-old dudes, you
Yeah.
know? And so I think just like with my songwriting that is not old mixed with the sound of those players, it shaped my music naturally. And they were songs that I had written in California over the last 3 years before that while I was playing country music in California. And so the songs were already well established. But they just added that touch of Nashville
Yeah.
that I think it needed. And I did stray from that for one EP because I had an investor and he was not making me. He said I could make any creative decisions that I wanted to, but he had kind of found me through my cover band, which is definitely more rock, and wanted me to do rock songs and whatever, which is the reason I got on TikTok. And I did stray from that sound for a while, and it just was not connecting with my audience. And I think that was the sign that I needed, that like I need to do what I want to do, and what is natural to me is country.
Yeah.
And I kind of compare it to my tattoos, and it's so stupid, but like my tattoos are neo-traditional, and I think my music is also neo-traditional.
Absolutely. Yeah. I don't think that does quite enough justice to the vibe, though. Like, I agree with you. It is neo-traditional, but like, it's like that on steroids to me, right? Like, it's a signature, really, right? Like,
Yeah.
I think the song I found you through was Lonely. That's the one that I got on my algorithm, YouTube algorithm. And it's just a different thing, right? Like, it's country music, but it's not. Like, it's just is that, like, how much of California is in that, like, in that vibe of yours?
I honestly, I don't know if any of it is anywhere. I think it's
Yeah.
all just experiences. Because like that song was written, I think all my best songs were written when I was really fucking depressed.
Yeah.
I like need turmoil in my life. But that song, I've said it in a bunch of interviews, but I wrote that song right after my boyfriend broke up with me on the day that my grandpa died. My dog died a week later. My car exploded. I found out that a friend had been lying about me for a
It's
year.
a freaking country
And
song.
it was just like, fuck, that was the first write that I had after all those experiences. And it was with one of my friends, which was really cool. And I do find that the songs that I write with people that I'm actually friends with and go co-produce myself, because like that song I co-produced with Grady James, and like he played all the instruments on it, and like we wrote it super fast, and I was crying in the writing session. And you know, it's just one of those things that I was like, I know I'm putting this out, like, you're cool with me cutting this song? And he's like, yeah, of course. And I wrote it and put it out a month later.
Yeah, the video is amazing too. Like, just it just drives the message home, right? And like,
Thank you.
you're an
She always-
actress too, by God. You can act. Like, I was like, geez, she's bringing it home.
I cannot act, but I can be sad and sit at
Well,
a
I
table.
think
That's
you could
what all my
act in that
friends
one.
say.
I see other videos that you're in. My wife and I was watching Hello Friday, and she was laughing. She goes, "I love this song, but she looks so awkward. She doesn't know what to do." Like, there was like a little spot between, like, I think it was between the chorus and the bridge, and there was like a solo in there, and you didn't know what to do. Like,
Yes.
there was no
Oh,
lyrics.
that's real.
Yeah.
That-
My wife is very perceptive. She's a novelist, so she's like,
I need props.
yeah. She's like, it's so funny. I was like, yeah, I see it now. But yeah, and Lonely, you were great. Yeah, just driving the
Thank
message home. Blue, again, also, that was a great video. Great concept for a video, too. Like, you know, you're showing all these memories, and then you're showing him there, and then now he's not there, and just great stuff. This is another thing that I think you're very good at, is kind of that art of telling a complete story in a song. A lot of people can tell a story in a song and do it fairly well, but you're very good at completing a story in like 3 minutes. How do you do that? Like, I guess the question is, like, how did the evolution of your songwriting get you to that point where you could tell a story completely in a song?
Honestly, 30 years of writing.
Yeah.
I think that's the only thing that it can be. I tried, you know, we have all these like AI tools and stuff now, and I'm trying to always be ahead of the game when it comes to technology, because I was so late on TikTok. And like, cause I didn't get TikTok till 2022 and I regret that all the time. But you can't go back. So now when I see new tools, I want to be part of them. And I got together with this like AI savant and a hit songwriter maybe a month ago. And we were trying to write a song with AI. And it just was not happening. They were happy with so much stuff.
Yeah,
And
no.
I was like, I would never release this. I was like, this doesn't feel like a human. It doesn't feel real.
Organic.
And like, yeah, and it's like, sure, there's a story and it makes sense and it rhymes, but it just doesn't feel real. And I think that that is like something that I really try, because I write hundreds of songs, but I only put out, you know, a few. And I actually started taking outside cuts a couple years ago because I'm like, I only want to put out the best, most relatable work.
Yeah.
And like King Size Bed, I did not write that song. I wrote the chorus of it after, but that song had been sitting in a library since 2009. But it's such a story that the minute that I heard it, I was like, how has nobody cut this?
Yeah.
Like, this is such a relatable story that so many people have. Like, it really needs, the world needs to see this. But I just think there's something human about being human. And I think people need to know the bad parts. And I think a lot of people are capable of writing a full story. They just don't want to put the bad parts in there. Or if they do, they want it to sound nice and pretty. And I'm just like, no, I'm fucking sad.
Yeah.
Like,
It's all about feel. And I hear that so many times. That word feel is what is important about a song. And you're right. The bad parts have to be in there too, right? You can't have joy without sorrow. You have to have both, right? It's that circular thing. You can't have half a circle. That doesn't make sense. I love the way you're saying this shit, so that's what's up. I love your vocals. Obviously, this is something that sets you apart as well. You know this already. You probably heard this a million times. The wife said, again, very perceptive lady, she said if Lizzie Hale was country music.
I get that a decent amount.
Yeah.
Yes. I get her. Of course, I get Janis Joplin the most.
Right.
And Tanya Tucker all the time.
Right.
So,
I
and
guess
then
I can hear that too, yeah.
the teeny boppers always say Miley Cyrus.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you're Sheyna Gee though, right? Like, I don't think there's anything quite
Thank
like
you.
it. Yeah, there's, and you mentioned it earlier that sets everybody apart. It's not just you, right? It's that mixture, those ingredients, the different influences, the different inspirations that are uniquely you, right? They're going to be different than everybody else on the planet. And that's what makes each of us different and unique in our art, whether it's music or whatever. So there's not going to be anybody exactly like you. My question to you, though, is that being such a, a historically long songwriter, 30 plus years, the vocals has to be a major tool for you as a songwriter, right? Like being able to do certain things with your voice.
It's honestly something I'm trying to get better at. I write so many just straight songs
Yeah.
that I'm like, I can sing every Alanis Morissette song, and Alanis is like, she's like the reason I play music, I'll say.
Right.
And like, but I can't write the big anthemic choruses like that. And so I've really been trying to, over these last few years, get better at that. And that's something I've been actively practicing and trying to write with people who have like either a musical theater background or like.
Is there a lack of confidence in that, not being able to do that? In other words, maybe you think you can do it, you can do it vocally, but there's like that inner voice. Nah, you can't do that. I
think I'm just naturally a more poetic songwriter than a melody person.
Gotcha.
And so I think it's just, I am more worried about the story than where it's going musically.
Sure.
I used to write with a band when I lived in California, and I think that helps a lot too. But since I've moved to Nashville, no one really does that here, and I hate to say that, nobody, because I'm sure there are tons of people that do. I'm not really in a room with a full band very much, other than at my live shows or at rehearsals for live shows.
Right.
And we don't rehearse unless there's like, I played a couple festivals this summer for my original music. And we're there for an hour, we rehearse the set, and then we go about our day. And I've been trying to actively write with a full band, and every time I'm like, let's schedule time, it just hasn't happened. So I think just, I appreciate you saying that I am good at doing that, but I feel like I don't do that enough. So I'm trying to, Blue was one where it was like, we had a completely different chorus for that. And that chorus woke me up in the middle of the night, that melody.
Yeah.
And honestly, a lot of the times when I write, it's early in the morning. And I say early, like 10. And I haven't really woken up yet.
Early for us night owls,
Yeah.
right?
And so I haven't really woken up yet. So my voice can't do those things yet until I've talked and had like a full conversation. Like this is the most conversation I've had today, and it's 3 PM.
Yeah.
So I've been doing emails all day.
Yeah.
So I haven't talked out loud, you know?
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, and even with a fabulous voice, like I've seen so many amazing vocalists that like their imposter syndrome will keep them from being able to write to their voice, right?
It's a thing.
Yeah, it is. It's so weird how depression and those kind of inner voices can kind of rule the roost, even to uber successful people, right? How much I love that you're talking about writing with a band. You don't hear that very often, right? Like you hear co-writers and maybe one or two, but never with a band. What do you think is the pros to that? It's just having different ears, right? Like different.
I think having a full sound there, like having, like, I am so used to, because like 4 days a week, my day job is playing in a cover band. And so I know what a hit is supposed to sound like. But like to have the momentum there and to have the music there, other than just like sitting there with a guitar, like playing a couple chords, you have to imagine all those pieces there. But when you have the drums there picking up at the chorus and the bridge going somewhere else and whatever, the energy is just different. And like energy is such a vague word, but like you really do have a different energy when you're writing with a full band as opposed to with just a co-writer. And that's why a lot of people write to tracks. I don't have that same energy writing to tracks, so I just honestly don't do it. And maybe because I don't do it, I'm not good at it. I don't know which way, if the chicken comes before the egg or the egg, but I've tried it a few times, and I just prefer writing with a guitar or with a band.
I love it. And you talked about being in a cover band, and I'm assuming this is helping, obviously, pay the bills. But as an artist, how is being in a cover band, how does it help you and hurt you as an artist?
I think the only thing it hurts is energy, because I am exhausted. Because when I do play my cover band shows, I give 100% just like I'm putting on an original show.
Right.
But I think in every other way it helps, and people give cover bands way too much shit. First of all, it funds my career. Pretty much now, these days, it's 50-50. Now I play enough original shows that I am able to, I could quit my cover band and go full in. But it keeps my chops up. I'm performing to hundreds of people on a daily basis from around the world here in Nashville.
Yeah.
And those people, it's bringing the audience to me at the same as like social media, where I get to perform their favorite songs for them. So maybe they'll go click on my link and find me. And it's just that practice of playing with a band. And it's that thing of no matter how much I fucking hate Hit Me With Your Best Shot by fucking Pat Benatar, I know it's a hit, and it helps you kind of like recognize what a hit is and what's not, so that while you're writing, you can have that in mind of like, this is what is pleasing to the human ear.
Yeah.
Not that song has to be the same, but the structure of a song, the timing of a song. Okay, this verse is too long. Now there's exceptions to the rule. Fast Car has 4 verses before you get to a fucking chorus, and that's been a hit twice.
Yep.
But so there's always going to be exceptions to the rule.
It's been viral too, more than twice, right? So
yes, 100%.
Yeah.
But like I think there are so many benefits, and I think a lot of these original artists really should have played in a cover band before because people go straight off the boat, and they think they're a rock star, and they get to Nashville, and it's like, oh no, honey, like maybe in your small town, because I had that of just like, oh, and I'm not from a small town, I'm from LA.
Yeah.
And where I thought I was good, and I moved to Nashville, and I was like, oh, I can't put on a show.
Right.
And now I get to go places like at Love and Warren, Texas, which is a big venue, and like not big, but it's like a rite of passage venue. Mm-hmm. I have the highest alcohol sales per person that was there that night that I played, because I know how to get
I wish I had known about you then, because that's not far from me, god dang it.
Oh, where are you at?
I'm a little north of Tyler, probably about an hour and a half east of Plano, where Love and War is.
Okay, yeah, because
Yeah.
I was at Plano, but I'll be in Dallas at the end of the month, but it's on a Thursday night. It's on a school night.
Yeah, that's okay. Maybe where are you going to be in Dallas?
The Texas Tea Room.
Okay, I'll have to look it up. We might have to do that.
All right.
Yeah, I would love to come see you. Anyway, yeah, good stuff. I love how you can very quickly become very humbled when you show up in Nashville. You think you're the cat's meow, but that town will knock your ass down quick, right? Every time. Do you ever worry about I was not expecting to talk about cover bands today, but I think it's important to really to shine a light on it. Do you ever worry about being stereotyped or pigeonholed as a cover artist when you are so amazing originally, in my opinion?
It's not a worry, it's a thing.
Yeah.
Like, I am absolutely put into a box as a cover band. And no matter how much I try to break the stigma of just like, but look at, I've gotten the cover of Spotify editorial playlists. Look at, I'm selling out festivals in Europe. Look at, I'm playing Bonnaroo. I'm playing C2C. I'm doing all this with my original music. I have songs with over 1 million streams on Spotify.
Yeah.
It does not matter. I am still a cover band.
That's
and
crazy.
I don't know if I'll ever break that stigma. And I don't want to quit doing it.
Yeah. I didn't even know. I'll keep it real. Like, I didn't even know that was a thing for you. So that's interesting to me. I'm on board with the original stuff. I did not even know that you were in a four night a week cover band. Which, I mean, I can see that. That's going to pay the bills. That's what people want to see, and that's also going to fund the career, right? That's going to get your recording time and help you go on the road.
Players so cool. Like, I was on tour 90% of this summer. Like, I was in Europe 4 times this year.
Wow.
And this last one was for almost 6 weeks. And I get to come back right into my residencies, which is so lovely. And so it doesn't hinder me in any way other than the stigma.
Yeah. And does that hurt your feelings? It must, right?
Not when I'm living in a high-rise apartment downtown.
Let's go. I love the answer, Sheyna. Let's go. Good shit, man. Hell yeah, you tell them. I love that shit. Not $400 a month anymore, is it?
No, I don't even know if I could rent that bedroom for $400 a month now.
That's so awesome. I got to let people know, Sheyna is performing up to 275 shows a year as a career musician, career artist. That is insane. How are you two things. How are you maintaining the energy? And how are you taking care of those amazing vocals doing that many shows?
Lots of cigarettes and whiskey.
That's not the right
They help
answer.
with both. It's a lot easier to put on a show after like 3 shots of tequila. No, but I don't drink at all my shows anymore. I did have to learn the hard way that you can't drink at your job because nobody else does that. But I do pick 1 or 2 days a week where I still indulge myself a little bit. But as awful as it is, and I cannot be anybody's example on this, I don't warm up. I don't do anything for my vocals. I just yell.
Wow.
And it's worked so far, and I'm just keeping my fingers crossed that I'm not doing damage.
That's insane. Yeah.
Or the damage is what's giving me that flavor.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe so. I gotta say, I've seen again I've seen some interviews from you where you talked about what we already really talked about was being too fat, being too old. You've got the tattoos, right? You have this look about you. It's a badass fucking look from my perspective. I think you are gorgeous, by the way, just so you know. How much pushback do you get from that, though? Because like I've chatted. I don't know if you know Taylor Honeycutt. She's another girl that you and her could be kindred spirits. And she gets a lot of pushback from how she looks and how she talks and shit like that. So I imagine you're dealing with that too, right?
I get the most on Facebook for sure.
Oh, I imagine, yeah.
Tons of keyboard warriors love to say, like, you would be such a pretty girl if you didn't ruin your body with those tattoos, or put some clothes on, little girl, or why do you wear a bandana in your pocket? That's so weird, or just anything you could possibly imagine. And I do fluctuate weight about 20 pounds every couple of years.
Mhm.
And I still dress the same no matter what.
Good.
Because this is me.
Mhm.
And people are just going to talk shit. And when I was younger, it definitely affected me a lot more. I think you get to a certain, and I'm aging myself in every interview these days, but it's true. I just think you get to a certain age where you just don't give a fuck anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I'm gonna tell you. So I'm almost. Well, I used to be almost 400 pounds. I'm down to about 340 now. So, but
Congratulations.
thank you. But I used to stream video games live right from this room, and I just play video games, and I was fairly successful at it. But I'm almost 400 pounds, and this is a kid's world, right? So, and kids are keyboard warriors for the most part. And I'll tell you what, I didn't go very many days where I wasn't being made fun of in my own channel, right? And someone told me, I don't know if it was my dad or what, but somebody told me that as long as you understand that you can't care about them, or you shouldn't care about them because they, how was it? You shouldn't care about what they say because you don't love them. You don't care about them. And so the only way somebody can really hurt you is if you care about that person. Right? So that's why, like, divorce sucks. And when you're getting into it with your kid or something, that sucks because those are people you care about. But if somebody really talks about your weight or how you look or whatever, you shouldn't care about that because you don't care about them. So what does it matter? And
Well, there's enough people that are cheerleaders.
Sure,
Too. The
yeah.
one thing about the internet that is so amazing, and like I never had this on Instagram. Instagram was only people on there to look at my ass. And when I got on TikTok, I found a community of people that liked me for who I was.
Right.
And I had never in my, at the time, 20 years of being in the music industry, I had never had that other than the people in my band and the few fans I had collected over that 20 years. And over the last 4 years, you know, it's been life-changing.
Yeah.
Of just like, you don't have to just find people, you have to find the right people.
Yep.
And with the internet, you're going to find a whole bunch of wrong people, but the right people are out there.
Yeah, there's a lot of right people on TikTok. I'll keep you real. I agree with you there, right? Like, you see so many different types of people, you know. And we talked about it, the 90-year-old influencers, right? Like the influencers with Down syndrome and other,
Yes.
you know, other challenges that they're dealing with mentally, and they're just killing it. The cystic fibrosis and the Parkinson's and I mean, there are famous influences with dementia and Alzheimer's, and TikTok is for that reason, and those are the people that are keeping the candle burning instead of blowing it out, right? Like, yeah. So I love that about TikTok too, and I have a pretty good following on TikTok myself as a big guy.
I love it.
Yeah, me too, and that's what I like. If you're doing well, like, there's people on there that are just, you know, dancing or doing kung fu moves, and they're, you know, they look weird from a societal standpoint, but they're just trying to live their best life. You know what I mean?
Yes, and they are.
Yeah, exactly.
There's people doing what they love.
Yep.
Why hate on that?
Exactly right. It's like those people that you were talking about on Facebook, right? Like, they only care about their own freedom of expression. And they don't care about anybody else's because they don't agree with what that expression has brought to their eyeballs or their ears or whatever. And it's like, it's not any different than your freedom of expression, though.
Well, we're having problems with that in every facet of life right now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I just wish people would let people exist the way they want to exist. That's all, you know?
Amen to that, brother.
Yeah.
That is like that is my whole existence, is telling people, just worry about yourself.
Yeah.
And like, why does it matter who people love, who people vote for, what people do in their free time, as long as they're not hurting anybody else.
Yep.
That is, if you're hurting other people, if you're skinning animals alive or something, then we're gonna have an issue.
Right.
But as long
if what you're expressing or saying is hurting other people, then that's where it draws the line, right? Like, yeah.
Exactly. But just be happy. But most of those people that do project hatred, they're not happy.
No, they're not.
And so because they're not happy, they have to project that hatred into the world. And it's sad, and I feel bad for those people. But also, and I hate to not give people accountability, but the world used to be a lot different And it wasn't proper to be yourself. And those people are still, some of the older generation are still stuck in that, which is one thing I cannot praise the younger generation enough. And I'm like in the middle where I was raised to be one way, even though I had a very open, loving mother that was, super amazing. But the younger generation really, my mom also did fat shame me a bunch growing up and like whatever, because women were to be sexual objects for men.
Yep.
And if you were not desirable, then you had no value. And I'm so glad that people have more value than that now. And I'm so glad that, like you said, there can be people with things that aren't necessarily normal, whatever, that are still living their best life. And they can go do parkour in the park and go do whatever and walk around in whatever they feel, a furry costume, and no one's really going to bother them, hopefully.
I just think the word normal is such a bullshit word. It's just a bullshit word, and I feel like there are too many people on the planet who think that's a black and white word, and it's not. It's the most gray word in the world. It is literally as subjective as you could possibly get, right? Like
100%, because to me, my life is normal.
Yeah, it is, and it is absolutely normal.
Yes, but to like my own sister who was raised by the same mother as me, she cannot accept the fact that I am my age. I don't want a family. I tour the world for a living. And on a random Tuesday, she's like, "What are you doing in Czech Republic?" Like, "Oh, I'm working."
There is nothing more badass than that, right? Just, I'm in the Czech Republic, bro. Like, what do you mean this isn't normal?
Yes, and to me it is normal.
It is. It should be.
On a plane, I'm like, this is my life. Like, this is my normal. I'm getting paid to do this.
Thank you for talking about this with me, because I think you're a fucking badass. And just the way you are, the way you look, the way you act, I think you're a badass. And
thanks, man.
I think 40 years ago, you probably don't have a chance, right?
That's what, it's just a totally different, like, even Janis Joplin, who everybody compares me to, like, she didn't have tattoos.
Nope.
She still was, like, pretty normal, brown-haired, like, boring-looking woman.
Yep.
Other than the fact she didn't shave her armpits.
They killed her, too, though. Literally. They didn't literally kill her.
No,
I mean, like, they just killed her. Like, they just beat her up so badly. Like, because she was not normal. Like, such a bullshit word, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, you have an EP coming out next year, right?
I do. So I went through a lot of phases this year, and there was going to be a lot of projects. I ended up recording a live project, spent, I'd say the proper word is I blew my load on a live visual and audio EP that it ended up being a disaster. And I ended up just kind of using it as content. So you'll see clips of that on my TikTok, and I just posted a clip of it on my YouTube today. But it's not going to be coming out as a full EP, and I kind of pivoted because when I came home from my second tour of Europe this year, I wrote a whole album in 2 weeks.
Okay.
And I had written 7 of those songs by myself. So I picked 5 of those 7 songs that I'm going to put on an EP called 2 Weeks. And because it was written in 2 weeks.
It's killer.
And the first single off of it will be out in December, and that song is called One Day. So it'll be 1 day and then 2 weeks.
I love it. That's so good. I've noticed that you've done pretty much over the entire portion of your career, other than the Barstool EP. You've pretty much done waterfall singles, right? Just waterfalling the singles out. What's the strategy behind that for you specifically?
I've really only done singles. The only reason there was that middle EP, Angela, is because I did it wrong.
Yeah.
That was not supposed to be an EP. That was just supposed to be 4 singles.
Okay. You just uploaded it wrong?
Yes.
That's so funny. Oh my gosh. The strategy is I uploaded it wrong, Boston.
I'm like, why did Angela come out? Because I was going to delete those other 2 and just have Angela come out as a single and then have it just be all singles.
Yeah.
And then I ended up being wrong, and I was like, well, fuck it. It's done now.
So funny. Oh, my God.
After that project, that was a project I did with a investor. after that project was when I decided I'm going to do everything by myself from now on, and do not take any outside influences and just put out the songs I want to put out and whatever. And I had noticed that when I was putting out songs, and it's cliche, we're told by Spotify to put out songs every 6 weeks.
6 weeks, yeah.
And I did it, and my numbers started going up. And so now this year it's been a little harder to stay on that exact 6 week track because I've been touring so much and I'm doing everything by myself. So it's been more like 8 weeks to this break in between my last single, Clean, and then my next single will come out I'm putting out a Christmas song on November 14th. And that'll be the longest. And I think that'll be 10 weeks in between. But then next year I'm going to get back on track. I'm saying once a month, but we'll call it 6 weeks to be safe.
Have you noticed the difference in the analytics between 6 weeks and 8 weeks?
It starts to fall, like right now is the lowest dip I've had all year, and I'm at 50,000 monthly listeners, and it usually floats around 60, and then when I release a single, it'll jump up to like 80 or 90.
Okay.
And I'm really trying to break the 100,000 monthly listeners next
you're
year.
gonna get there. You're gonna get there.
And so I'm thinking with more consistent releases, if I do it once a month, I'll get there because the momentum will still be there from the playlist from the last single and then to the playlist. I'm really, really grateful that some of the country playlisters at Spotify have recognized me, have put me on the cover of things, and as an independent artist with no backing.
That's huge.
And no team. It's really been incredible. And one of the playlisters actually reached out to me on Instagram.
Nice.
And I was just like, I just want to let you know that I put you on there because I just like your music.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and it's a young female. And it's just like, oh.
Awesome.
These are the people I've been trying to reach.
Yeah, you're just trying to find your people. I got you, man. That's awesome stuff. The second song I wanted to include on the episode is called Young. You want to tell us a little bit about this song?
That is another one that is an outside cut. I changed almost everything about that song. The concept of it was so me at the time. Being over 30 and in the music industry still was so taboo up until recently. And I just wanted to start. I was so scared to talk about my age. And even the producer that I was working with, he wanted to be my manager. And I respect him so much. He's so good at what he does. But we had gotten into multiple conversations where he'd be like, my only concern about you is your age. And I ended up thinking it wasn't a good fit just because of that. Because I'm like, if you're worried about that, you're going to project that. And I don't want that. And I want to start talking more openly so that other people do feel empowered to not give up on their dreams. Why are men like Chris Stapleton and Jelly Roll able to get into the music industry in their 30s and no one says a word? But as a woman, I should be concerned about that? Fuck no. And so when I got with this producer, he is a big name producer, and I had expressed to him, like, I didn't know how to go to music libraries. And he's like, I've been recording demos since the 2000s. He's like, I have music libraries. And I was like, ooh, I want to listen to songs. And so we listened to over 200 songs. And the only 3 songs I picked out of the 200 songs that I listened to were King Size Bed, Hello Friday, and Young.
Nice.
And all of them had been sitting in libraries for years, except for Hello Friday was a new song. And there was a lot of reasons for that, and a lot of it was that they weren't perfect. And so he reached out to the writers of these songs, and like on King Size Bed, it was Ashley Gorley and Brian Simpson, who Ashley Gorley has 67 #1 hits. And all of the writers were totally okay with me changing the songs and me getting credit for them. And so Young was one that I pretty much changed everything on. And the writers were totally fine with me getting credit on them. The songs were released. 6 months later, Universal reached out and said that they would not be giving me any publishing on them.
Wow.
Yeah. And I'm like, the writers said it was fine, but Universal wanted their $7 that they're going to get for it.
Of course. Yep.
But It's okay. I still love the song, and the song still represents me. I think so well. And if you heard the demo of that song that had been sitting in a library, you would never even think it was the same song because it was an acoustic ballad.
Yes.
And I turned it into a double time, fun, upbeat,
Awesome.
because I wanted people to feel happy about being too old to die young.
Yeah. It's just a great line too. What a great line. Too old to die young. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah. We get there, right? Like
we get there.
when I heard that lyric, I was like, oh man, I'm there too. Damn it.
I think once you pass the 27 club, it's too late.
I think you're right. Guys, it's Young by Sheyna Gee. Y'all check it out. All right, so we.
My mistakes are many, wrong turns I've made plenty. It ain't easy looking back at who I've been. I'll often think about it, 'cause back then I was drowning. Sometimes I'm still paying for my sins. I've lived long enough to know that this is another chance to lead a better life and do the best I can. If I'm gonna be remembered, it'll have to be for the good that I've done. 'Cause it's too late to die young. I let myself get too deep in things that could have killed me, when I should have turned around and walked away. But I had to learn my lesson, and the truth is I'm still guessing. Every second here's worth the price I paid. I've lived long enough to know that this is another chance to lead a better life and do the best I can. If I'm gonna be remembered, it'll have to be for the good that I've done. 'Cause it's too late to die young, and I'm only getting older. I'm gonna live for every moment, 'cause I can't go back in time. I've lived long enough to know this is another chance to lead a better life and do the best I can. If I'm gonna be remembered, it'll have to be for the good that I've done. 'Cause it's too late to die young. Too late to die young.
All right, so we are back with Sheyna. Again, thank you so much for your time. I have a bunch of fun segments that we're going to use for TikToks and things. I always say these are fun segments, but for some reason we always end up with some really deep emotional shit that comes out of these segments. So who knows what's going to happen now. So, and what's cool is I have so many of these segments now that I'm going to give you the choice between some of them as well. So you'll get,
All right.
I'll tell you the name of the segment and you get to choose one of the two, okay? So,
Let's do it.
all right, the first two are Did You Know or Fun. Which one do you want to do?
Did you know?
All right, can you tell us something that people may not know about you?
I can open beer bottles with my teeth.
Oh my God. Why is that not surprising?
Oh, my mom hates it.
I bet. You still have teeth too, so that's impressive.
She's like, I paid a lot for your braces.
Right? What are you doing? Freaking can of bottle openers are what, $3 at Walmart? Go get one. Golly. All right, next segment is called Impactful. This will be a little bit deeper. So Impactful is, can you name 3 people that really impacted your life in some way? And then tell us the biggest thing you learned from each of those 3 people.
the number one is definitely my mom. I watched my mom go through a divorce from an abusive husband who did drugs and slept with strippers and did all the things when I was young enough to understand what was happening. And at that age, I told her that she needed to get a divorce. And that really shaped me as a person. And no matter what she was going through, she still got us horses when we were little. My sister had flying lessons. I had guitar lessons. And she worked from the minute she dropped us off from school, and then my grandparents would pick us up from school, and then she'd pick us up at night. And so the second people that impacted me were my grandparents. They were like second parents to me. And man, is it lame to say a musician?
No, not at all.
Because I think it would be a tie between Alanis Morissette and Tom Petty.
Sure.
Really were two huge inspirations on my career. I just think Alanis Morissette is such a badass songwriter, and the fact that she wrote that Jagged Little Pill album when she was so young.
She doesn't get enough credit, for sure.
Oh my God. Yeah. 19 years old writing that record, and almost everything you hear on the record is just how it came out when she wrote it. Like, that is, and being a woman in that scene, that was so masculine and toxic.
Yep.
And like, it's just incredible. And then Tom Petty, who is an artist who has so many amazing songs, and they had to break him in Europe before he broke in America. And that is something that I'm like, maybe that's my path. I don't know.
Yeah. And there is no right path either, right? All right, next segment. Choose one of these two, either Mount Rushmore or one artist.
Wait, I'm confused by the question. I'm dumb.
So the two segments, one is called Mount Rushmore.
Oh, pick the segment.
The next one is called one artist.
Okay, well, I hate Mount Rushmore because of what it represents. So,
okay. All right, so one artist is, tell us one artist you wish the entire world knew about, other than yourself.
Ooh. You know, this is going to sound really stupid because you and I probably think of him as a huge artist, and I think of him as a huge artist because I just saw him play at a stadium. But when I go, especially play country shows in Europe, so many people still don't know who Tyler Childers is.
Yeah, there's people think he's overrated, and he's not. He is extremely underrated.
And anyone who talks shit about his newest record is wrong.
Yeah.
They're just wrong. I don't trust. It is freaking the biggest producer of all time. And it's perfect. There is nothing but the Purgatory album, of course. There is not a misplaced word or sound on that entire record. I think that is one of the best records of our lifetime.
So I have a playlist with just that record and The Life of a Showgirl on it, and that's it. True story.
Hoping that people that listen to The Life of a Showgirl will find it.
Maybe, I don't know. I have that playlist. I listen to it every day. I'm not gonna lie. All right,
I love that.
Yeah, man, I love both of those records so much. I'm not ashamed of it. Anyway, what the heck is our next segment? This is like a game show style game. I'm gonna ask you 5 questions that are designed to put a visual into your head. So okay. I want you to tell me whatever hits your head. Don't change your mind. All right. All right, number 1, how long do you wait after finishing your food before going back for seconds?
I don't.
You don't wait. You're there.
I don't have a full.
Okay, so wow, bottomless pit. Golly, that's lucky. That is so lucky.
No, it is not. That is why I fluctuate 20 pounds
I got
every
you.
year.
I got you. All right. So you don't get hungry, or you can always be hungry, but you will.
I can always eat. I have eaten so much that I've thrown up.
Wow. But you do still deal with the consequences of that. I got you. All right. Number 2, are you more of an early bird or a night owl?
Early bird.
Really?
Yeah.
That surprises me a little bit. So 10 o'clock is actually late. You were saying earlier, early in the morning.
Yeah, no, it is. I wake up at around 7 every morning.
Wow, yeah, I haven't seen 7 a.m. since I don't even know when.
No matter what time I go to bed.
Yeah, wow, no, I'm good. All right, number 3. Let me see. All right, this is always a fun one for a musician. Have you ever tripped on stage? And the answer is always yes to this. But the important part of the question is, if so, how did you play it off as cool?
I have never played it off as cool. I just trip. I'll give you one more embarrassing.
All right.
At Love and Warren, Texas, one of my eyelashes came off on stage. And it was fluttering in my eye. And I was like, you guys, I'm going to look crazy in all these pictures afterwards, but I have to take this eyelash off because I can't see.
Oh, my God.
I've had hair extensions fall out on stage. I have had everything happen on stage. When you play that many shows, there is always room for error.
Yeah, that's rock and roll, though, right? All right, number 4. When dating someone new, what is the appropriate amount of time to wait before pooping in front of them?
This is different in every relationship because I've had boyfriends that I've pooped in front of right away, and then boyfriends that I've never pooped in front of after 5 years.
So what's the difference?
The boyfriend.
Okay.
I think you have to, I think they're not, I don't think I ever felt comfortable in front of them.
So is there an appropriate amount of time, though?
I think a year.
I love how you just the nervous scratch behind the ear. I love it. I think about a year. All right, number 5. That is awesome. All right, number 5. What is your best curse word alternative?
I just cuss a lot.
I just don't think you have one, right?
I don't think. I now, instead of saying hell yeah, say truck yeah. I don't
That's
know if that
funny.
counts.
I actually have a question here. I'm going to give you a number 6 then, just because you said that. So some people will say heavens no, and some people
Yeah.
say hell yeah. So why is there anybody in the world that ever says purgatory perhaps?
I wish somebody, I feel like that's what we're living in purgatory.
Yeah. So why can't somebody make that go viral?
I think you're about to.
Purgatory perhaps. Y'all give me a purgatory perhaps. All right. That was What the Heck with Sheyna Gee. That's always fun as hell. All right. Next one. Choose either bucket list or fly on the wall.
Bucket list.
All right. Bucket list is what is on your bucket list of things you still want to do.
Play Red Rocks. I know that's cliche and lame.
It's not. That's a fabulous thing to want to do. Yes.
Yeah, I want to play Red Rocks so bad.
Would you lose your shit though? Like how would you get through
I would
it?
cry
Yeah.
for sure. I would maybe poop my pants too.
Yeah. Just not if you're dating somebody within a year, right? You'd have to wait. You'd have to wait. All right. People are gonna see this TikTok and be like, "Why is he talking about poop on this segment? We did not see the other segment."
Everybody poops.
Everybody poops. All right. Next segment. Choose either biggest lesson or moment of gravity.
Ooh, those both sound good. Moment of gravity.
All right, so moment of gravity is like we can look back at our lives and see that one moment in time that led us on the path to where we are now. Can you kind of see what that moment was for you?
Getting a TikTok.
Really?
Yes.
So recent, 2022 you said, right?
Yes.
So what specifically about that has led you to where you are, do you think?
My song Ghost is a song that I had written in 2019 and written off because in the 3 years that it had been released, it only had about 3,500 streams. And I only posted it on TikTok because that investor told me I had to get a TikTok to promote my new music. And I had tried everything else to get attention on TikTok, and I had a music video for that song. And I posted it and it went viral, and it was the first thing that went viral. And it gave me confidence in myself.
Awesome. Good stuff. All right, next one is called Grateful. I only have two more. Grateful is, can you name the three things you are the most grateful for?
I am the most grateful for people. I love people, whether they are fans of me, whether they're family members, whether they're just people that I've come across in every day. I love people and the human experience. I am grateful for nature, animals, beautiful places, waterfalls. I want to see every waterfall that's in the whole wide world.
I read that about you. That's awesome.
And food.
Oh, man.
I love food.
Who doesn't? I don't know what's wrong with people. That's my biggest problem. So I quit. I haven't quit drinking. I might as well have. I drink very socially. I've quit cigarettes, and I can't quit food.
Same. And like I said, I don't have a full button.
Yeah, it's just a comfort thing for me. I think I'm the same way. I don't have a full button.
Yeah, and I love the experience of having meals with people.
Mm-hmm.
I love inventing things. I love savory. I love sweet. When people are like, what do you like better? I'm like, I don't. I just like it all.
Yeah.
I like everything. There's very few things I don't like.
Incredible. I think that's a California thing I've noticed. A lot of people from California don't have a lot of food allergies or food, they're not picky.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, well, maybe because we grow up with a lot of options.
I think so, yeah. You have a lot of different cuisines and cultures in LA and stuff. I bet you that's a lot to do with it. All right, last segment could be the hardest one for you to answer, though. The segment is called, Who Do You Think You Are? So who is Sheyna Gee?
I'm just a girl. I'm literally just a normal ass person that has a cool job.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's literally, I am the most normal, basic bitch that's ever lived. I have my big cup. Like I said, I like to go on hot girl walks outside, and I love dogs.
What the hell is a hot girl walk? Wait a minute.
You ever heard of a hot girl walk?
I have not.
It's just a walk outside.
Just a walk outside, all right.
It's just a normal walk, but now in the last 2 years, people started calling them hot girl walks.
I gotcha. That reminds me of a joke I told my wife literally on our first date. I said to her, this was our first date. I swear to God, we're married 10 years now, right? I said, do you know the difference between a regular shower and a hot shower? She says, no. I said, the hot shower has me in it.
Now you're going to tell her after this, hey, babe, let's go on a hot girl
Let's
walk.
go on a hot girl walk. That's right. Oh, man, that's great. All right, Sheyna Gee, for the first time here on the Boston Chris Show, thank you so much for your time. Man, this was a lot of fun. Let me tell folks where they can find you on the interwebs. It's SheynaGee.com. I'm going to spell that out because it is kind of a whack spelling here and there. It's SheynaGee. It's not Gee, y'all. It's G. SheynaGee.com. Like G as in gangsta, right?
G is for gangster, baby.
That's right.
That's where you can find me on all socials.
Yep, I was just gonna say that on TikTok. It is G is for gangster with a hard R, by the way, and the number 4, not spelled out. It is the number 4. Instagram is the same. G is for gangster, hard R. Facebook is Sheyna Gee Music. And yeah, so follow along on your favorite platform. Definitely need to check out the TikTok though, because it's popping over there, right?
That's the thing. We'll be TikTok friends after this.
Yep, absolutely. Sheyna, thank you so much for doing this for us.
Thank you for having me. It's been a blast. This is one of my favorite interviews.
This is Bucky Hurd, and thanks for tuning in to the Boston Chris Show.